I'm curious how many people watching this have ever quit their day job. I've actually done it a few times. This is like one of those things that everyone's like, oh, quit your day job and start your passion. I have done that multiple times, and I've had a good experiences with it and also bad experience with it. So I'm gonna talk about that. So I didn't always quit my day job because I was trying to do a side business. When I was younger, I would quit a day job when I had enough money saved up that I knew I could live for about 6 months just off of that. I kind of learned from a young age like how to live with like $500 a month, $300 a month. So I would do that. I would work and I would save up a couple $1,000s and then I would just live off of that for a while. And it was great because I could use that time to be experimental and not really have to worry about making money while I was making films or art or whatever I was doing, or just hanging out, which I probably should have used that time more productively, but I was a kid, so who knows. But then as I started getting older, I started quitting jobs because like I just couldn't stand them anymore. I worked as a busser at a restaurant in Pittsburgh. I loved the restaurant, I just hated working there. It was exhausting. I was making really good money and I had no excuse, like I couldn't justify to myself why I didn't love this job. And I just felt super unhappy. So I quit. I had a bunch of money saved up and I quit. I quit because I convinced myself that I was gonna do filmmaking full time. And I had one client lined up, and that client fell through. So this is like why you should not quit your day job, because it's not that you're not good enough, because I think I was making plenty good quality films at that time, and when I did quit, I went and I got I started working at a co-working space. I started doing what I could. I picked up a few gigs here and there, and then all of a sudden I was like out of money completely, and this big contract that I kept waiting to come through just didn't come through, and eventually they decided that they weren't going to hire anyone for the job, and it was like, okay, great. So now I don't know what to do, and freelance can just be really stressful. And eventually I decided I needed to get a job again. I had a friend that kept offering me this job doing AV, so I took that job, and then I worked that job for 2 years, and then I quit that job too, because I was like, oh, I hate this job, and I'm going to go home, and I'm going to move to Pennsylvania where I can live for very cheaply, and I'm going to work freelance and just do all this online video editing and stuff. And then I got back here, and I did live cheaply, and I did live off of my savings, and then I ran out of money and also had like no gigs at all. Weirdly, as I started interviewing for jobs because I was trying to find another full-time job, all of a sudden I started getting a bunch of little like website jobs. I don't like doing websites, but it was something, so I did them. I had some money then. In my interview for my current job, he actually asked me, if you own your own business and you're working for yourself, why do you want to work for someone else? And I really was just like, I don't want to have to worry about where my next paycheck is coming from. At least until I'm like really stable as a freelancer, I don't want to have to worry about that because it's so stressful. I can't apply myself, and I take a bunch of jobs that I would never take otherwise. Like I said, I don't like making websites. So, which is interesting because some of my friends that are creators, they have full-time jobs and they're making pretty good money, and their side gig, their creativity, their filmmaking, their music, whatever, is hold for sirens. I thought I'd get away from these when I moved out of the city to a small town, but nope. Look at this cute mug my sister got me. Okay, anyway, these people are all trying to quit their day jobs. They're telling me, they're like, oh, if I could just dedicate myself 100% to this thing, then I could just make so much money. And I'm telling them like, oh, you shouldn't do that, but if that's what you want to do, go ahead and try it, because you'll learn pretty quickly that until you are making money, so much money at your side gig, that you could quit today, not have to pick up any additional income, that's when you should quit. So if you have a side hustle and you have a stable job that's not trying to push you out and not making you absolutely crazy, then you should stay at that job. Use as much of your extra time to work on your side hustle. Start prioritizing the things that are making money. If you eventually want to leave your day job, which I'm not in a position like that, but if that's what you want to do, prioritize the things that make money. That means if you're making music, prioritize merchandise, prioritize just pumping out as much content as possible to build your audience as big as possible, and maybe spend some of that money you're making at your day job on advertising to make that audience bigger, to make it more sustainable. Same thing with filmmaking. Focus on the jobs that are actually paying, but the ones that don't make you just want to like quit filmmaking. That's like, you know, you might be able to make a ton of money doing weddings. I know that for sure, but I hate doing weddings. And so there's no way that's gonna be sustainable. I think you might get a gut feeling that, oh, if I was just getting paid for this, or I was just doing this full time, like I would love it so much more than my day job. And it's like, I am telling you right now that that's probably not as true as you think it is. Actually, Logic answered this question in Gary Vaynerchuk. I'm gonna play that clip really quick here.
But one piece of advice I want to give you and everybody out there watching who's like, no, I just want to just get rid of everything else and just focus on this one thing, That's BS, man, because when I was 17 years old, I left home and I worked 2 jobs at the same time while still working on my music. So no matter how hard it might feel or how angry it can be to just want to just do that one thing all the time, make sure you are balancing your life. It's very important.
But there you have it. Logic agrees, and Logic knows what he's doing. So in summary, just don't quit your day job until you're totally, you know for sure that if you quit today, you're not going to lose any income. And it's just, you know, it's so hard as a creative. I'm going to get real here for a second. It's so hard as a creative because you are so in love with your work that you think there's no way that I could make this full time and not make money off of it. Because you can make money off your creative endeavors, but you just don't know until you're really to the point where you're making enough income that you could quit your day job for it. You don't know that the market is going to be as interested in it as you think they are. And I don't want to be like a Debbie Downer, but they're probably not going to be, at least not at first. Like, this stuff takes time. And if you don't have a year or 2 years of savings saved up and you don't have any clients right now, or maybe you only have 1 or 2, that's not good enough. It's just not. So please don't quit your day job. Use that time at your day job to leverage whatever skills you can learn from it. Use that money to make your side business function better and put that money into marketing so you can bring in more clients, and then maybe someday you can quit your day job. All right, don't quit your day job, but also keep creating. I'm not gonna be one of those people that say don't quit your day job because I think you're horrible, because even if you are horrible, you probably could get better if you just worked harder at it. But don't quit your day job to get more time to work at it. Ah, geez, I know, it's so complicated being a creative. Bye.